Most people probably associate this week's Parsha, Parshat Vayera, with its very dramatic stories, like the destruction of Sodom, Akedat Yitzchak, the expulsion of Hagar. But for me, Parshat Vayera is the Beersheba Parsha. Of course, I am biased because I've lived in Beersheba for the past 10 years. Sadly, Beersheba sometimes gets a bad rap, but it is actually one of the first cities mentioned in the Bible and has great religious and historical significance. When people think holy cities, they think Yerushalayim or Hebron, but in fact, it is Beersheba that is the city of Abraham. Every year, I get excited when we read that after Abraham makes a pact with the Philistine king Avimelech, Al ken kara lemakom hahu Beersheba, ki sham nishba'u shnehem. Henceforth, that place was called Beersheba, for there the two of them swore an oath, a shvuah. I actually want to focus on one little verse that comes right after this pact. Vayita Eshel beBeersheba, vayikra sham b'shem Hashem el olam. And Abraham planted an Eshel, a tamarisk tree, or even an orchard of trees in Beersheba. For years, the symbol for modern-day Beersheba has been the Eshel tree. In the city's logo from the 1950s, the Eshel features prominently along with the verse, while adding a water pipe and a factory to symbolize the industrialization of the city. In 1972, a new logo was created, but with the same Eshel and the same verse, along with the municipality buildings to celebrate the development of the city. Because of the Eshel tree's deep roots, it can withstand heat and long dry spells, and it provides good shade, so it is well suited for the arid Negev region of Beersheba. In the rabbinic imagination, the Eshel, which can be seen here growing today in Beersheba, is a symbol of Abraham's virtue of radical hospitality, or hachnasat orchim. The Midrash suggests that the three letters of Eshel, Aleph, Shin, Lamed, are actually an acronym for Achila, Shtia, Lena, eating, drinking, and lodging. The three things that Abraham and Sarah provided all of their guests, opening their tent on all sides to the travelers who passed by. So the Eshel tree has become a very popular logo or symbol for all sorts of companies or organizations, especially in the Negev region, and particularly those having something to do with some kind of hospitality, such as hotels or even real estate agents. In the short time that we have been reading Sefer Breshit, there have already been many plantings. The stories of our three main characters so far, Adam, Noach, and Abraham, all feature tree planting. Of course, in Parshat Breshit, it is God who plants the tree of life and the tree of knowledge, but the same language is used, Vayita Hashem Elokim, and he planted. And then Noach, after the flood, plants. Again, Vayita, Karem, plants for himself a vineyard. As we know, neither of these stories ends well. Adam ultimately sins by eating from the tree, and Noach sins by drinking from the tree. It is only Abraham who finally marks the true beginning of our nation's story in its land, who plants a tree that is used for both good in his time and for a long-lasting blessing for his future generations, until today. Tree plantings appear in many other biblical and rabbinic stories. Likewise, just as we saw that trees are a favorite in graphic design and marketing, they're also an important symbol of growth and continuity in the visual arts of really all cultures. Trees make a great art project for both kids and adults because they can easily be simplified or abstracted. So this week, we will create our own Eshel Avraham and appreciate the value of Hachnasat Orchim, of being welcoming to all, but most especially to the lonely and to the outsiders. And today, in a time of so much isolation and separation, we must reflect on how can we continue Abraham's legacy of creating an opening and embracing tent. Come visit us in Beersheba. Shabbat Shalom.